the rapid transformation of Dunspire from a prosperous, peaceful capital city and country to one ruled by fear and violence in the past few years seemed unbelievable to many, and something seemingly beyond the capabilities of Lord Dunstamp and Omen Sulk, who were previously regarded as con men and slightly deranged and substance-addled grifters, derided by most. However, they rose in prominence by stoking fears in others and running schemes that should have ended in their ruin, in which they somehow emerged with more wealth and power, till they held key positions. Dunstamp in the ruling council, Sulk as a mercantile leader. This was aided by their ruthlessness and cruelty in dealing with opponents, and apparently something more sinister. Key power brokers appeared unable or unwilling to stop them, somehow blinded to their evil, or strangely mindlessly parroting their vile lies. These which were adopted by some of the populace and leaders weirdly impervious to facts or reality, or the dangers Dunstamp and Sulk posed in a phenomena some called brain rot, and rumored to be linked to dark forces behind them. Soon the vile duo had full control, with any speaking against them disappearing, and no effective opposition, even as the land plunged into war and scarcity for all but Dunstamp, Sulk, and their goons. 4 years into the regime, a nascent resistance had been forming in the capital city, in particular as food scarcity was leading to near starvation in some quarters of the city. The regime cracked down and sent scores pressed to serve in the army or navy, or to rot in jail, where torture and worse were rumored to be employed by the regime in an effort to ferret out info about the resistance. It was this crackdown that landed the party members in jail at the start of their campaign. As recounted in past summaries, they met, freed themselves from their shackles, killed the wardress and her thugs, freed others, and escaped down the sewers where they placated a giant alligator, fought through sewage storms and monsters, and jumped out of sewers with the help of scaly individuals they later found to be part of the resistance. The party were led blindfolded through the passages adjacent to the sewers, and they made their case to the resistance, bolstered by the presence of the wardress's head. They were accepted into the resistance, and the cleric joined their ranks. They shared a dark scroll from the wardress, and the resistance had them show an ancient dragon Zosileron, who helped them identify 6 of 7 dark demi-lord referenced. The party's first mission for the resistance was to rid the nearby caves of goblins suspected in recent disappearances. They entered the caves and encountered a dog made of many parts, and thwarted a goblin ambush at the cost of a zombie companion, a fellow prisoner enamored of the party's charismatic sorceress Luna, and treated with a strange potion by a resistance healer, Peter. The goblin ambushers were tactically slain by the party. A crude map of the caves was found on the goblin body, guiding them past dead ends, except for one pit trap that dwarven fighter Sam fell into. Deeper into the caves, things became even creepier. There, they felt they were being watched, and strange calls and chanting echoed through the caves. The chanting changed to the party's own voices. Suddenly, from above and behind, 3 horrifying chokers descended on the party, while the source of the mimicry, a Lecruta, another horrible animal hybrid, attacked the party from the front. The hideous chokers grappled Luna and the cleric Amara, choking them out, while the Lecruta stomped Jin and Bria nearby to death before the party defeated these horrible monsters. The party healed up and rested briefly before continuing down the caves, guided by the map and some drag marks, and towards the sounds of chanting. They could make out one word, Labishi Mardak. The cave passage they followed opened up to stonework, recognized as from ancient ruins the city was built upon. A partially intact ancient temple, perhaps. A timid, small, penguin/cat/hawk dithered near the entrance. Peering in stealthily, the party saw a large chamber with 4 cells alongside, and a distant green glowing central chamber where a number of figures were chanting in a circle. The party attempted to sneak in and had some success, spotting figures in the cell. Discovered, but persuaded they might be allies by the charming Luna. Those who entered the chamber, Luna, Sam, and Bubbles, the deep gnomic barbarian, were invited by the lead figure in the chamber, who identified himself as Gerald, to join their ceremony. Gerald also recognized the grayish half-zombie tinge of Bubbles as the potion handiwork of his acolyte, Peter. The chanting and the electric green glow intensified as a group, Gerald, 3 bride women made of various body parts, 2 orcish guards, a large orc with a thick book, 2 abominations of many mismatched parts, and a really weird man-spider guy. In the rear of the chamber, Bria the monk entered and opened a cell door to release a woman. Then a large ogre, dragging a sack with goblin bodies, entered the chamber. The ogre saw Bria and roared. Luna distracted Gerald, giving Sam an opening. He charged at the necromancer, attempting to push him into the portal, but missed. And then Sam himself fell into the portal. The others fled to open the cells. Gerald, betrayed, froze Luna with a hold person spell. Julian attacked the ogre while hiding outside the chamber, and Bria inside. Bubbles, the deep gnome, joined the chanting, charmed. The ogre clubbed out Bria, who was saved by a heal from the woman he had just released. Amera freed a wild-eyed man from a nearby cell. He repeated, "I know what to do. I know what to do. I know what to do." The chanting continued. Gerald and the others largely focused on the glowing portal, the man-spider above the portal incanting,
"This is the water. This is the well. Drink deep and ascend. The horse is the white of the eye and the dark within."
The orc guards attack the party. Sam, falling into the green nothingness, confronts the hideous twin visages of the cosmically horrifying Lebishi Marduk. He held fast in the doorway as the summoning attempted to bring the demigod up to this place and block the entrance, even as he lost his mind. The ogre fell under multiple attacks. Gerald turned his attention away from puzzling the god's delayed entrance from the portal. Then the cleric, Amera, cast Create Water just above the green electric power generating heart. This caused a tremendous explosion, flattening everyone around the circle. The brides and abominations blown apart completely, and the portal closed. The party killed the remaining guards and the man-spider. Gerald, staggering up from the explosion, disappeared in a spell he cast. The Mad Sam, blown to parts unknown. The party searched the lab, finding some interesting items, and the large abyssal tome held by Gerald's sidekick, and the 4 partially dissected prisoners. They set out to make their way back to the Resistance headquarters as the curtain fell on the last session.
Heldor, 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 Heldor,
uttered the wild-eyed dwarf known as Sam, garments rent, electrified hair and beard still smoking slightly and standing on end, while he rocked himself in a fetal position and repeated one word he was able to say. Eyes, pupils apparently marked by the horrifying twin visages of the hideous demigod Lebishi Marduk, the Deceiver. Looking up beseechingly, at the large turtle who was guiding him to the Resistance's underground headquarters makeshift infirmary.
Easy there, friend,
said the turtle known as Gulch, guiding Sam to a bed, patting him on the shoulder.
Eldor?
Replied Sam, falling into the bed and resuming rocking himself, eyes wide. Gulch looked around at the untended, ill, and injured in the infirmary, all victims of the tyrannical regime.
Damn it, I'm a planeswalker, not a healer. Where the hell is Peter? We should never have let Amara go off with the party. She was our only cleric. Someone get Xavier down here and tell him I plucked the dwarf fighter from my circle. And he is all fried up and crazy as...
After making their careful way back through the Goblin Choker Caves to the cave wall sealed entrance to the Resistance territory, the party brings those they rescued. Juniper Hardcrest, a cleric, disappeared after opposing cruelty of the new regime. She saved Bria with a timely heal, in the best shape of the four, and was able to heal self somewhat. Bren Flinty, former army commander, badly carved up, especially around the midsection, appears more than half mad. Keeps repeating, "I know what to do, I know what to do, I know what to do," in a rather high-pitched voice. Zeke Damo identified himself as a former council member. Long hair, long beard, imprisoned the longest. One arm missing. Tilda Whiteblossom, former scholar and writer. Of those rescued, she was the most horribly carved up, with both legs amputated, as well as one arm, and extremely emaciated. They took these survivors down to the makeshift infirmary, where they see Paladin Xavier doing his best to minister aid to mad-fried Sam and the other injured and ill. Shaggy, with his unkempt hair and beard from long years imprisoned, Councilman Zach Domo croaks out,
"I must speak with the council immediately."
all gone, disappeared, killed outright, or fled in exile.
Trade Guild and League of Nations, then?
All disbanded. We've been at war on land and sea for years, attacking former strong allies. The land has gone mad. Thousands have died.
No. No.
No.
the mad and unmanned Bren Flinty, unable to walk upright or make much sense, sat next to the still rocking Sam, who utters,
Eldor, Eldor, Eldor,
to the hunched-over Bren, eyes darting, who squeaks in a high-pitched voice,
I know what to do. I know what to do.
Eldor.
Sam agrees. Juniper, the rescued cleric, closely attends Tilda, emaciated and missing most limbs, who is carried. She spoon-feeds her and comforts her. The wan Tilda says nothing, but is able to smile weakly. Juniper's face grows dark, looking from her lab prisoner companions to the faces of the other injured, mutilated, and tortured victims of the terrible tyrant and his dark forces. Through gritted teeth, Juniper spits,
By my deity, I will kill Dunstamp, Sulk, and all those who serve their evil.
shaking with barely suppressed anger.
Kill them all.
Just then, Shandar runs in, addressing Xavier and Gulch.
We've looked everywhere. Peter's gone, and he's taken his belongings with him.
A look of fear passes between Xavier, Gulch, and Shandar. The ominous silence that follows is broken only by a quiet,
Eldor?
Sword Noir is based on the homebrew role-playing campaign created and run by David Aboussafy. It was performed by Bren MacDonald and written by David Aboussafy. This episode was produced by Screaming Hermit Podcasts.